So I have a coworker that's a little older than me, I suppose, and I don't talk to my coworkers much. I try to stay on my own nowadays because having to work for other people, which is hard for me, because I like running my own business and do so well in it. Although the pandemic shut me down, um, I let me tell this story and we'll get back into the other one. Long time ago, I was underage. I was with a very nice gentleman, Bill Standifer, and I was like back in my drinking days, and I didn't have kids, and I was living a good life, and I um, got mad over a situation which I should probably log one day. And I was not impressed, and I was like, I'm right here, boom, boom, instant decision. And so I was working at another bar that we didn't own, and one of my customers, longtime customers, a trucker guy, little tiny guy, he was real sweet, and he asked me what's going on, and I said, well, I would like to leave Bill, and just, I just can't do this. And he said, you need to tell me why. He said, I'll help you. And I said, really? And he says, absolutely. He says, what you need? Well, I looked at an apartment over by Van in the sun, and I said, I think it was like 600 to get in, and it was real nice, fully secure, be my own. The manager seemed real nice, and it was a real nice couple that was managing it. They would live on the premises, managers, and I guess with the cleaning and the first and last and all of the junk, and the pro rate, it was like around 600 to get in. And so anyway, he stayed till closing, and he said, could you do me a favor and give me a ride home? He was like, I never drink and drive. I was like, okay. And I mean, he spent a lot of time in the club, so I figured he was probably single. But I'd known him a long time, and I developed real easy trust for people when I was younger, which I probably shouldn't have trusted a lot of people. But I trusted people that were kind and seemed sincere, which is a foolish thing to really do. But I had known this guy for several months in the clubs. He would come and see me. He didn't talk a lot. He was very polite, and he tipped nice, and was just a really good guy, easy to deal with. And so anyway, I said sure, and I had a brand new car that Bill had bought me. The thing was, the car wasn't in my name. Do not do that. Car is not in your name thing, and I've done vlogs about that before. If it's yours, get it in your name. Otherwise, they're a liar. But anyway, so I had a brand new car, and Oldsmobile Tornado, beautiful thing. And everybody always thought it was a Seville because they looked about alike, and but it wasn't. And it drove real good, sunroof, moonroof, the whole deal. So anyway, I said sure. So I go to give him a ride home, and he lives about a mile from the club. And he said, if you'll do me a favor and wait a few minutes, I'll be right back. And I'm like, oh God, it's like, 2:30 in the morning. Bars close in California at 2 in the morning. And I'm like, this is kind of creepy for me being here in the dark on the street, late at night by myself. And so you see this big apartment complex and all that. And he, goes off in there. After about 10 minutes, I'm sweating bullets, going, this is just too weird. Something bad's going to happen. And he comes back down. He's real calm. And he gets in the car and he says, look, he says, take this money. And I'm like, what? He said, take this money and go get that place. If that's in your heart and that's what you want to do to get away from him, don't let the money problem stand in the way. And it was like, and so, I mean, and what do I owe you? Because I'm thinking, you know, this guy's going to ask for a sexual act or kill me or something. And I'm real straightforward with people and real down to earth, honest. I would not lead anybody on. And he says, here's the rules. He said, you know, I always try to help people, especially sincere people, when I can. And I said, well, how do I pay it back? You know, I mean, you have a phone number, you want to give me your address? And he said, well, I can't talk too long because my wife is waiting on me upstairs. And, I was like, oh. So now I'm thinking, oh, God, I'm going to have a jealous wife come after me, and I'm not even doing anything. So, you know, which has happened many a time in my life. Been accused, and did nothing. But anyway, so he says, here's the rules. He said, I'll see you. I'll always see you. He said, you know, that I'm always on the road a lot. He says, the thing is, you know, whenever you get the money, you pay me back. He said, but if you don't, spend the time in your life to help someone else as I have helped you. And I was like, okay. And I was like, man, thank you. I just, you know, I really appreciate it. I didn't give him a hug or anything like that because, you know, that California, you don't just go around giving people hugs. In the South, everybody hugs everybody over a candy bar. I mean, the South is truly friendly. It's just everybody's like instantly family in the South. But this is in California, so anyway, I was like, okay. And then I thought, boy, this guy's going to be stalking me, you know, for this money. I better make it in a hurry, everything. So I went the next day and I got the place. And I had nothing in that place. Nothing. Not a fork, a knife, spoon, nothing. And so I had the car, though, which was great, and which later was stolen. He sent somebody over to steal it back, which was heartbreaking. And I was like paying $25 and $30 for taxis to go to work in bars and other towns and everything else. And so anyway, I went back to the house a few times and you know, managed to, you know, get a couple things, like I'll take half the flatware or, you know, go get some of my clothes, you know, and kind of jump in and out of there and grab a few things here and there. And he never did change the locks. I don't even think he realized it. And and I think that was about the time I quit drinking. And for a little bit. And I was never a big bad drunk or anything like that. Never went for rehab for drugs or liquor. But, you know, sometimes you got to really stay straight to keep things straight. You don't have time to play in the bars, you know. And so, anyway, it was really funny. I didn't have furniture in that place for months. For months, I slept on the floor. I was so happy. He had a brand new carpet, real nice place. And so, anyway, I did manage to get a phone, though, and which was cool. And but anyway, you know, a year goes by, and I'm going in all the different clubs because I know all the clubs he liked to go to and stuff. And I'm asking about him. I'm like, have you seen, you know, Pepper? And they're like, no. And then go to the next one, and another one said, well, you know, he died. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know his last name. I don't even know exactly where he lived or his wife, so I could pay the money back, you know, because he helped me. And so I was like, oh, what am I going to do? This is terrible. I had such a guilty conscience because I wanted to pay this guy back and he died. So I'm going over his words. I'm going over his words. I'm overthinking this to the max. And I'm like, he said to, help someone else in my lifetime if I didn't pay him back. I've done that for years. For years and years, I have paid this debt so many times, helping other people when I didn't have hardly anything or had a lot. I always tried to help people when it was most important without them asking. I don't want people asking, but the ones that don't ask, I try to step in, whether it be anonymously or honestly, doesn't make a difference. It's just a thing I do. Constantly, I'm repaying that debt, from when I was underage. So, and I love to help people. That just is me. I mean, from cars to utility bills to, some clothes, a new beginning, um, advice of any sort, whether they're going through problems with their kids or, some legal problems. And no, I'm not a lawyer. Um, Financial things, all kinds of things like that. So anyway, I've given so much advice away for free, which is lame, but I just love people, and I hate to see people suffer. I've had enough hurt in my life, and without showing it, that it makes me happy to do something nice for somebody else. So I'm working with my coworker, who is a manager above me, at a job I've only worked almost 2 weeks, and she's real sweet. And one night we were on break together, and she says, "Yeah, I go through the storage thing too." And she's at a complex that I was at. Apparently, she was a resident. She says, I have like 3 storages, one over there, a couple over here. And she says, I was living in a storage unit. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I can't even do that. I can't visualize that. I know a lot of people that have done that for years at a time. I know a guy that lives in a storage complex for like 15 years. No, 20 years. Yeah. I know a guy, that works at Walmart that's been in a storage complex, living in a unit for like 6, 7 years. Uh, uh, I've seen a lot, but this is their thing. Okay, that's all they can do, and they're trying to just stay alive. It's been sleeping in the bushes in Florida because the fire ants, the snakes, and all that kind of stuff. So they're doing what they can do. I've never had to do that, thank God. I don't think I could. I would be petrified to be in the dark. I would be petrified because of the rats. And, when I had my all my stuff over at American Storage, God, when I went to move that stuff out, I put rat poison in there constantly and everything else. And it was just covered with rat duties all over the tops of all the boxes, just like cat sand. It was horrible, and it was consistently rained on all the time. I bought a lot of storage auctions there, and it used to rain on them. All of them but 2 that I bought, and I bought tons of them. So, and they weren't going to do anything about it. And anyway, so I thought, God, that's horrible. You got to be tough. And what it could do to you mentally, you know what I mean? God, I couldn't do it. And so, I really felt for her when she told me, yeah, I lived in a storage unit. And she says, I had to go back to my ex. As much as I didn't want to, I had to go back to my ex just so I have a place, but I don't sleep with them or anything. And I'm like, wow. So, don't know anything about that situation previous to that or anything like that. I try not to get into too much discussion. But, that hit my heart. I watch her, during the night, she walks, and She's in so much pain, it's almost like she's bow-legged. She's a little tiny, she's a short person. And I've watched her, at closing, leaving to go to her car. She's a pretty nice car, actually. And, uh, she just looks wore out, her feet, and she works a lot of hours, and she complains about the pain, and felt bad for her. A lot of times I tell her, just go sit down and let me try to get some work done for you, and outside of my job. um and so the other day I picked up a pair of shoes. She wears these, and I know some of you people like these suckers, but I recently had a humongous job offer to sell for these people, these Crocs. Those little rubbery plastic shoes, whatever they are. And she wears little petty socks. They look like little tennis socks. They're real thin. And I'm like, these things are just got to be horrible, for her feet, because the floors are hard. And that's the worst enemy of working a job, is being on hard, concrete, asphalt, anything like that is really hard on your body. It starts with your feet and creeps through your bones. It will tear you up, and then you get varicose veins. Especially if you're on your feet a lot. Now, at least this job, they're really good about giving little short breaks, and they're really stern about making sure you take your lunches and all that stuff. So it's a real good company. All in all, and you know, it's it's pretty neat. But so the other day, I picked up these shoes, thinking of her. I'm guessing her size. I'm guessing a size 6. So I buy these shoes, and they're like pull-on, breathable top shoes with a wide sole on the bottom, like a tennis shoe kind of thing. And they're not real pretty or glittery or anything like that. They're just black. And I just couldn't afford to buy like serious work shoes, but something better than what she's wearing. And being in the clothing industry for years, my own business doing shoes and gowns and things. Hello, Jeffrey. I have a pretty good eye for size, and especially shoes. So I got a size 6. And I thought this would be good because it's got a thick sole to it, and it's got like memory foam inside. They're made by Avia. But again, they're not a pretty shoe, but they don't tie or anything. You just pull them on. Top's kind of like stretchy to fit. So I get these shoes, and I think, oh, geez, what did I do? I said, these are a 6W. That means 6 wide. And I'm like, these are probably not going to work. I end up selling them on eBay. Thank you for the thumbs up. So the other night I was at work. She was there. I think I forgot the other night I worked with her, but she came out for break. I was sitting out front on my break, and I said, so what size shoe do you wear, Rosie? And she says, what do you mean? I said, well, you wear size 6? And she says, yeah, as a matter of fact, I do, but shoes are hard to fit on me. And I said, hold on. I went to the car. I got those shoes out. I had them in the front seat floor. Went back and handed her these shoes. And she goes, what are these? I said, just try them on and see if you can wear them. She says, I have a lot of trouble getting shoes to fit me because my feet are really wide. So I'm like, whoa, this might work out perfect. Just on my happy accident because I bought a 6 wide. She says, she puts one on, and she says, whoa. And I said, what's wrong? And I said, I mean, they're not pretty shoes, but she says, whoa, that's really comfortable. And I said, well, stand up in it. And she says, hey, hey, you know that I can't believe it has so much trouble fitting shoes. It's really good. And I said, we'll put the other one on and walk around for a minute here and see what you think. So she puts them on. She says, these are excellent. She says, these are the greatest thing. I said, well, don't wear those other shoes the rest of the night. See how you like. I don't know why it's doing this. But anyway, I got Android 12 and it's trying to update or something while I'm doing this. Anyway, so uh, I checked with her a little while later, and I said, "You doing okay?" She said, "Man, these shoes are fantastic." And I said, "Well, I hope they'll help you, and maybe what you want to do is like wear some dude socks, like little gym socks, and cuff them down, and it might even be more comfortable. Put a little baby powder in those shoes." And so she was like, "Yeah, I mean, it took so much of the pain away. She was walking better. She didn't even say thank you, but it's okay." And I'm hoping that she'll wear them again, and I'm hoping they will help her. I'm going to tell you, the thing with feet are like the root of all evil. If your feet aren't right, then it makes the rest of your body hurt. And it just ruins your health. Feet are super important. Good leather shoes are great. You know, shoes with cushion on hard surface are really great for you. But that is the root of all evil. Um, if you don't take care of your feet. So anyway, I enjoyed doing it. Made me feel great, and it's part of who I am. And I guess the thanks really go to the trucker guy. So I hope you guys have a great day. Do something kind for a stranger. I love you, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.